The recently released Relics of the Old Faith update has added on to the story of Cult of the Lamb, extending both the main storyline and giving closure to some characters we met along the way in the base game. We pick up right where we left off. The Lamb has eliminated the 4 bishops of the Old Faith and defeated the one who waits, retaining the red crown and the powers of death for his own uses. When the Lamb returns to the entrances of the lands of the Old Faith, he finds a new being has emerged. This being has no name, but has come to seek out the Lamb, chastising him for neglecting his duties as the new god of death and eliminating the bishops without putting them to rest. Unable to rest, they are instead continuously repeating the moments of their death. The being tells the Lamb that it is the Lamb's duty to crusade to the bishops' realms once more, to put them to rest. And so, the Lamb heads out once again, first to Darkwood to seek out Leshy. As it was the last time, the way to Leshy is blocked by a locked gate, and the Lamb is forced to eliminate Leshy's champions in order to unlock the gate. Upon defeating the first of these champions, the Lamb receives a god tier. The unknown being senses the Lamb's possession of a god tier and offers to trade with the Lamb for the tier, after the Lamb gives the being a name. After defeating each of Leshy's champions, the gate unlocks, and the Lamb again confronts Leshy, who bears the wounds of their last fatal encounter with the Lamb. The Lamb defeats him once more, and this time is able to reduce him to a follower, indoctrinating him into the cult. The new being is pleased with the Lamb's efforts, and opens for him a portal to Purgatory that the Lamb can enter if he wishes to battle the denizens there in exchange for more god tiers. During their time in Darkwood, the Lamb meets another new character, Kemek, who is responsible for the titular relics and allows the Lamb to use these relics in their crusades. After Leshy is recruited, the Lamb moves on to the other bishops, Heket, Kalama, and Shamura. He sacrifices members of his own cult to open each of their realms. Like Leshy, they all bear the mortal wounds of their last battle, and like Leshy, they are each defeated again and indoctrinated into the cult. Unlike Leshy though, the other bishops bear further marks of their past lives. Heket, who in her bishop form represented the horsemen of famine, and who could cause starvation in the Lamb's followers, comes to the cult starving. Kalama, who represented pestilence and could cause illness as a bishop, comes to the cult sick. And Shamura, who represented war and could cause the Lamb's followers to dissent, comes to the cult a dissenter. As followers, they each have their own request to make of their new god. Leshy wants his eye, Heket her throat, Kalama his ear, and Shamura wants their skull, seeking to recover the pieces of themselves they lost, while locking away the one who waits. The Lamb, always keen to assist his followers, obtained each of these relics, and is allowed by the former bishops to use the relics for his own use. After all 4 bishops are recruited, the new being commends him on his actions, proclaiming him the god of death, and gifting him a shrine with the likeness of the old god of death to remind him of the role he must play. The being warns the Lamb against becoming complacent and urges him to continue collecting god tiers. The Lamb is still unable to enter the realm of this new being, and the being becomes angry if the Lamb tries. The Lamb has given many god tiers to the being and received many gifts in return. Among these gifts were 2 special necklaces, the light necklace and the dark necklace. The Lamb gives the light and dark necklaces to 2 of his followers and sacrifices them in the sacrifice of the flesh ritual. Doing so resurrects Baal and Aim respectively. The brothers join the cult of the Lamb, to the complete disinterest of the one who waits, who does not care for his former servants. Shamura is somewhat more sentimental about the kits, remembering gifting them to Narinda. The Lamb takes the kits with him on his travels, seeking out their mother, Fornius, who is very glad to see her kits returned to her. Aim and Baal then leave the cult to rejoin Fornius for a time, before making their way out into the world, the warrior and the wanderer, together again. Having indoctrinated each of the bishops and having restored Aim and Baal, the Lamb settles back into daily life as a cult leader. His story again finished, at least for now. Let me know what you think of this new update to the game. For me, the whole update seemed rather unfinished and somewhat underwhelming. It essentially asked the player to repeat the main part of the main game, going through multiple crusades in each of the realms to defeat the same bosses once more. Except this time, there was no big boss battle at the end as the payoff. In many ways, it felt like the new being who had positioned itself in the entrance to the realm of the one who waits in the main game was going to become the next big boss. And that may be part of a future update, but it feels rather unfinished to leave it out of this one. For me, Purgatory as well didn't really add anything to the game. It felt a lot like a Chalice dungeon, not adding anything to the story and not really offering anything different in terms of gameplay. The only part of the update that I thought was genuinely worthwhile was being able to recruit the bishops and being able to resurrect Aim and Baal. Otherwise, it mostly just felt like we're playing the same game again without the payoff at the end. But let me know what you think. I may still do a future update video for the story when the next update comes out later in the year.